This is Rampage Podcast.
Wednesday night, June the 22nd, live once again. Second show this week, Michael. We had a post-show Sunday. Man, we're pulling double duty once again. It's Travis here on Hibiki TMD, alongside always my co-conspirator, my cohort, my, I don't know, brother in arms. Michael, how are you doing? Thank you for coming back for the second time this week. It's been an interesting couple of days, to say the least, in the world of wrestling. Perfect timing for the show, actually. So.
Feeling good. Glad to be here. Glad we have a special guest tonight. An American guest. So we know how I feel about that.
Will you stop? Already you're going to go there.
Well,
we had Lee on one time a month ago, and I'm still hearing about it.
Well, you know how I feel.
And Lee, sorry we didn't get to your question this week. We both had a lot of stuff going on, so we'll definitely try to get to watching Slammiversary. Like I said, neither one of us really give two shits about TNA, but since you made it a question, I feel obligated to do so. But yes, Michael was correct. We do have a guest this week, guys. Longtime friend of mine. This guy's went to WrestleMania 10 as a kid, and yeah, I wish I was there.
Madison Square Garden.
God, one of my favorite WrestleManias. I think we've had that on the show as we covered the whole WrestleMania in the past.
That was my Classic Mania, or was it yours?
That was your Classic Mania.
Okay, yeah.
Corey the Bagel Guy. Corey, how are you doing, man? Thank you so much for agreeing to come on. How's everything going in your neck of the woods?
Oh, everything's great, man. Thank you for having me.
No problem, definitely. Did you happen to catch any of Monday Night Raw this week?
I did catch some of it, yeah.
And coming out of it, do you think that, I don't know, it was an improvement on the prior weeks? I know sometimes after a pay-per-view, the Raw is a little bit better, and then it goes down a little bit maybe for the next 2 weeks. But what were your initial thoughts coming out of Raw?
I wasn't generally impressed. I thought, the Styles, Cena thing was okay, but whole Woman Reigns thing, so for me. And then, of course, what comes out the next day. It's kind of interesting, setting up Battleground without your biggest match of all time, supposedly.
Well, let's get to that. It's convenient that Roman is only getting suspended for 30 days. Travis, I know you already went on the podcast here and discussed the Roman Reigns suspension.
Well, let me get that out of the way real quick. On Hibiki TMD on YouTube, hit that like, always subscribe, feel free to comment. But it was actually Hibiki High Spots about Roman.
Wow.
So get the shit right off the bat.
A branch of the podcast.
Yeah.
My bad. Cool your jets.
Everyone gets one pass.
Cool your fucking jets.
All right.
Anyway, Roman Reigns, his 30-day suspension for his first violation of the wellness policy comes conveniently at a time when pay-per-view is more than 30 days away. So he's not going to miss the pay-per-view, and rumor has it that they knew about this violation before this past Sunday's pay-per-view and still let it go on. It's funny when WWE says they have a no-tolerance policy about this stuff, but yet they just punish people at their convenience.
Well, look at Orton, like I said.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go ahead and just segue right into that. Since it's fresh in everyone's mind, the elephant in the room, the Roman Reigns situation, we'll get back to Raw, because honestly, it was, I'll give it a meh at best.
Mm-hmm.
But the Roman Reigns situation, obviously, everyone knows about it by now. I've heard everyone say that it's convenient about the 30 days. My only thing is, how do you promote, and he's not The Undertaker, so how do you promote a show for a guy that's not there? How do you know what I mean? How do you give a build-up with a guy that's not there? He's not ever going to be on the level of an Undertaker. You can do that with Taker. You can do that with Brock.
Yeah.
You can't do that shit with Roman Reigns. No one wants to see him when he's around to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you could go devil's advocate on it and say, well, it's how he's pushed. But at the end of the day, I'll just go ahead and just give my quick opinion on the whole situation, because I've already talked about it. And I'd like to give you guys the floor for this, because I feel like I've talked a lot about it already on social media and whatever. If you're put in that situation as the guy, you need to be smarter. You need to be more professional. I understand everyone's human. And yes, he did fess up to it, but that's just, you know what I mean?
Does that make it right?
No, I'm not saying that.
I mean, I know we're all human and we all make mistakes. God knows I've made my fair share, but I'm not the WWE champion. If I was, I'm pretty sure I could stay off of any illegal substance for as long as my career
Well,
went.
what if you're dealing with the pain, though? I mean, if that's the case, then the guys we love in the 80s and 90s would have never been around either.
Yeah, but the policy wasn't
You
around
think
back
Piper
then.
would have been around for more than fucking 2 weeks?
Well, no, but that was a different time, a different era, and there was no policy for that back then.
But, I mean, do you want to go... That's my take on Roman.
My whole take on this, I mean, I'm hoping, I know they won't, just because it's the PG era, but what if they use this as like an angle to make him more hated? If they brought this up as like, you know, if Roman used it or they used it for when he comes back as
To finally
so what?
turn him heel.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I do what I want. I'm the champ. I'm the guy. See what happened? I got suspended for 30 days. I'm back. I'm still going to win the belt. You know, just something to make him hate him even more.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll do that with the PG era and everything. I'm thinking this is just going to hurt him more than he was already hurting. As far as ratings-wise, push-wise, I think you might see him down closer to the mid-card here for a little while. After Battleground pay-per-view, I think you're going to see him. I mean, he's going to have a big role in SummerSlam, I'm sure, in maybe a marquee singles match with whomever, if they do a him versus Brock rematch or whatever they're planning. But that's my take on it. I think Roman Reigns is on the way down. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, you said this would hurt him. I think it sort of helps. It sort of forces Vince McMahon's hand into scrapping the idea of him being the face of the company, and it sort of forces a heel turn. I think he has to come back as a heel now, because you can't have your number one face of the company coming back and saying, "Hey kids, I did drugs."
Yeah.
I'd be a heel.
Yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
No.
And it seems like as stubborn as they've been with turning Roman,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I think now
He just went from the guy to the guy that does drugs.
yeah. So,
Cool slogan.
Terrible.
Make a T-shirt out of that.
So I think he
WWE.
needs to come back, and
Go
when
ahead.
he comes back, he needs to act as the way Dean Ambrose is supposed to be coming off. You see, I like Dean Ambrose, but his whole lunatic fringe thing, it doesn't play out on TV as well as I think it should. I think
you.
Roman Reigns should come.
Thank you. I've been saying that for weeks, months. I don't think he's found his character fully. I think once he does find it, he's going to go as high as he wants. But I still think he's definitely not found that character fully. And I think they're kind of giving him the belt as kind of a reward for, you know, staying healthy, doing what you're supposed to do. He's obviously over with the fans to an extent. I don't think he's over in like a Daniel Bryan sense or, you know, that marquee babyface talent. But I totally agree with you, Corey. It's what I've been saying for months now. I like Dean Ambrose's work. I think he's great in the ring, minus the stupid, you know, thing off the ropes where he has to fall through it and then jump back at you. I think it's very hokey and stupid.
The little slingshot.
Yeah, I don't like it. But as far as his in-ring work as a whole...
Well, the first time I saw it was okay, but
yeah,
puts it in every single match. It's
Yeah.
not special anymore. It just looks stupid and forced and fake. You know, exactly. And the first time I saw it, cool. And then after that, it was like, oh, I get it. He's going to do this every time.
yeah.
It takes away from the believability a lot. If it's in every match.
Oh,
Yeah.
completely.
I've had a debate with people about this, and I've always been on that side of, well, it's not very believable to me. I guess I'm old school in the sense that I like my wrestling to look real.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I feel like Ambrose
There's three of us.
He's kind of like a poor man's Pillman or a poor man's Piper. Kind of
Yeah.
like Piper light. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just don't think he's anywhere close to Piper on the
well,
microphone.
that's what I'm saying. That's why.
No, nowhere.
Yeah,
And he seems like a real witty guy.
But I see.
I see where they're what
No,
they're
I
trying.
see what you're saying with the whole asylum thing. It's like the Piper's Pit, but it just, to me, it doesn't, you know. And you believe that he's a jerk. And with him, I don't believe you see it at all. This, you know, a guy acting fun on TV, getting paid. That's just all it comes off as to me.
Hey guys, apologize. We had some technical difficulties, but we actually threw the first promo break this week to Corey the Bagel Guy, and his pick was the Pack-a-Lunch promo from the Rockers on Slam Pigs Podcast.
Team that has done just that. They are the Rockers. Their names are Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, and right now they're standing by with comments.
You know, the Rockers have been faced with the best that the World Wrestling Federation has to offer, and we've gone through them all. But there's one team, the Brainbusters, that's been a thorn in our side. You know something? We came out trying to have professional wrestling matches with you two guys, but you didn't want it that way. You wanted to fight. Well, I tell you what, the Rockers are going to match you punch for punch and move for move, and we're going to settle this thing once and for all.
That's right. You know, you came out here telling everybody you was a cock of the walk and that you was going right to the top, but you stumbled on your first step with the Rockers. And it's not going to be any different wherever we meet. If you want to fight, we'll fight. If you want to wrestle, we'll wrestle. It doesn't make a difference to us because we got the same goal, to climb the ladder to the top. The Brain Busters, if you think you're going to walk over us, you got to pack a lunch because it's going to take more than one night. Rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling, taking care of business is what we're about, and we're going to do it with you, boys. Woo!
I hope you had a bologna sandwich and a thermos full of soup because the Rockers just brought a lunch to school. That was the Rockers with the Pack of Lunch promo. On the Slam Pigs podcast, we're back. We're joined with our special guest, Corey. Once again, thank you so much for doing this, Corey. Great to have you on the show. Michael, Monday Night Raw this week, the night after Money in the Bank. A few interesting things happened. Things actually happened on Raw for once.
Yep.
I don't know if my heart can take it. Where do you want to start?
I guess my most memorable moment of the night would be the Wyatts returning. The Wyatts finally making their return, and then a little swerve in the middle of the return. The New Day comes out.
Oh, Wyatt!
Yeah. But,
I feel like I did that really well.
yeah, that sounded good. Came from the diaphragm. That's good shit.
Came from the heart.
Whatever. Wherever it came from, sounded good. But, anyway, you got the Wyatts returning and then the New Day interrupting, which kind of created I don't want to say a split between the fans, but
Yeah.
it definitely put them in an iffy spot.
I think there was more of a split when it was Enzo and Cass facing them
Yeah.
off than the Wyatts.
Do you think this is a good move to bring the Wyatts back and put them right in there with somebody like the New Day?
I do, because you know what it reminds me of? Like when I watched it, it reminded me of the Shield and the Wyatts and what that did for both teams at Elimination Chamber that year. Great match, great feud.
It's totally different though with the New Day. The New Day's kind of more comedy relief. I mean, yeah,
I see.
they have the
I
tag
see
team
why
titles.
they're doing it.
Yeah,
You know, a filler for SummerSlam.
but
basically.
the New Day doesn't strike you as like the Wyatts or the Shield or Evolution, like people that are just going to beat the ever-loving shit out of you.
I'll put it this way: with Bray Wyatt's recent luck and his injuries and his bookings, I think he could be doing a lot worse than feuding with the New Day, honestly. So
How much in-ring action do you think he sees in this feud?
Bray Wyatt?
Yeah.
I think a good bit. I think anything to keep Braun Strowman out of the ring would be
Jesus.
a very good idea.
Well, you know he's going to be part of that tag team when they go against the New Day for the belts.
Yeah.
It'll probably be him and Rowan.
Who was better in ring, the Warlord or Braun Strowman?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that
The
one.
Warlord.
To you. Ooh.
The
Really?
Warlord. Yeah,
I
at
think
least
Strowman's got the
The
Warlord.
Warlord had some good matches with the Bulldog.
Yeah.
A lot of crucifixes.
A lot of crucifixes.
Corey,
Tito Santana too.
that's right. See?
SummerSlam 90, Tito and Warlord.
See that? Now, don't you talk about the Warlord like that. Corey, what do you think? Who's better, the Warlord or Braun Strowman?
Definitely the Warlord.
All right, cool. So what are your thoughts on the Wyatt return, and do you think that this was well booked?
I think I can say it'll be well booked. The Wyatts actually win and take the straps from the New Day. I'm just really tired of the way the Wyatts are supposed to be, you know, the faces of fear, and everybody's supposed to be afraid of them, and then they can't beat anybody. It's stupid. I think Bray Wyatt is such a good talent, and he's being completely wasted. I don't think he should be in this tag team angle. I think he should be vying for a continental title shot or a world title shot. But honestly, I think Rowan and Harper, not Rowan and Strowman, should take the belts off the New Day. That's my opinion.
Harper's great, but he's out for like what, ACL? That's 9 months, something like that.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, man,
Wow.
he went out with an injury right before WrestleMania. Maybe he'll be back in the fall. But
Yeah.
Harper's
he's definitely, besides Bray Wyatt, he's definitely their best worker.
Harper's like straight up has that Brody look. Bruiser Brody,
Yeah.
like serial fucking killer.
He
like,
does, but
If you hear him talking to Norman, he's like, "Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Rick Harper."
Yeah, you never get to hear him on a microphone. Like, I think he's another guy that may be able to break out as a singles star eventually, but you got to hear something from him on a mic.
Yeah.
You can't keep protecting him.
Well, we'll see where this goes. I don't know. I don't think they would do it for the tag belts. I think it's just the.
Well, what do you think of the booking, Travis? We didn't get to you.
I said it could be worse.
Okay. Well, what do you think would be good booking in this situation?
If I had the book, this wouldn't probably be happening at all, honestly. But I think the club, the Bullet Club, whatever the fuck you want to call them, hold the Mayo. You know, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows should have taken the belts at Money in the Bank. I think as To be an established top heel team, they need belts for heat. New Day doesn't need the belts, for one. But that's a whole other topic. I don't know. I definitely... You got to put the Wyatts over. They just came back for one. And they need to be re-energized again because a lot of damage has been done to their character over ever since Bray Wyatt had that fucking feud with John Cena, as we've seen time and time again. I know your favorite wrestler, Michael. Mr. Captain America himself.
Oh, yeah. I love him.
Who now speaks fluent Mandarin, by the way.
Congratulations to him for that.
Shout out to Corey for actually sending me the link to a John Cena in Chinese interview, which kind of blew my goddamn mind. But yeah,
it blew my mind and made me extremely uncomfortable at the same time.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly.
Well, I think that he could use that to his advantage. If the fans piss him off, he can just start speaking some Mandarin and nobody will know what he said.
There you go. But, yeah, you got to put the Wyatts over, and then I just think the feud needs to go away. The Wyatts move on to other things.
Well, so you do...
Maybe you do the Wyatts in the club.
You book a 6-man tag, though.
I was just going to say the Wyatts in the club.
There you go. You got to turn the Wyatts, by the way.
Maybe.
That's something else no one's brought up. You got to turn them babyface. Bray Wyatt could be a great Cactus Jack style babyface.
Yeah, but I don't think you need to turn them. I think they're already over. You know what I mean? I don't think you need to do
You always need to do like an official, like he saved somebody or something like that.
Well, I think they were already doing that. Remember before when they had Wyatt and Reigns tag up. Was that who he tagged up?
Right before he got injured.
Yeah, right before he got injured, he was tagging with Reigns.
Even with like the greatest probably tweener of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Eventually, he would help Jim Ross, so he would establish that he's helping.
And he tried to help Stephanie McMahon.
Well, they could have
weird
Bray
angle.
Wyatt help Roman Reigns get off drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think Wyatt necessarily needs to be turned officially. I think he can always be that tweener that people are going to root for regardless. I think if you try to turn him too much, I think he comes off as stale and, not believable if you try to turn him babyface. He's the epitome of what Dean Ambrose's character should be.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about having an asylum,
you need to flip
this should be the
things.
Wyatt asylum, not the Ambrose asylum.
Right.
If you want somebody that's believable as somebody who's nuts, it's Bray.
Bray's Boutique.
Yeah. What? Did you say Bray's? What is it, a fashion show?
Well, we talked about Adrian Adonis earlier. It reminded me of the flower shop.
Oh,
so
okay.
Just immediately, for some reason, Bray's Boutique.
Okay. But I mean, honestly, if I had to think of the best crazy person that's believable right now, it's Bray Wyatt, not Dean Ambrose.
Yeah,
For sure.
definitely.
So,
Well, we had a couple of more eventful things happen. Stumbling over my words. Natty Bo in the house once again,
Yeah.
obviously.
Natty
The
Bo.
boss, Sasha Banks.
makes her return.
She's back, and it looks like that's going to be the feud going into SummerSlam with Charlotte.
What do they do at Battleground? The tag match, you think? Paige and Sasha against Dana Brooke and Charlotte?
Is Teddy Long going to be out there to make it a tag match?
I hope not, because I get tired of them using their champion in a tag match. When is she ever going to defend
Especially on a
it?
pay-per-view.
Yeah, like she only defends it on Raw. Like she defended it against Paige on Raw.
Yeah.
But she doesn't defend it on a pay-per-view? What kind of fucking sense does that make?
I think they're going to pull the trigger this time as far as Sasha. And you're totally right. Totally right. We just got a lot of Raw. We got a lot of show left.
Yeah.
We're trying to get it all in condensed form.
That's fine.
But yeah.
And the one thing I took from that angle on Raw with Charlotte, have you noticed how big the woman's title is? I mean, the belt literally starts at her bush and stops at her tits. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, are they tried to size that for fucking dump truck down in NXT?
Nia Jax.
Yeah.
The dump truck herself.
Jesus Christ, that would fit her.
But
Imagine Bayley wearing that thing.
I know. She'll probably just carry it.
Jesus Christ.
She'll probably pull a diesel and just carry it.
Jesus Christ.
But,
Who were they fitting that for when they made it?
It's really great to see Sasha Banks back finally.
Bull Nakano.
I was going to say Bull Nakano.
Yeah.
I was trying to carry the show on the red.
But I mean, on a little sidetrack here, when is Charlotte going to finally wear some pants? Because she just does not look good in the outfit that she wears.
Well,
She looks like a man from the waist down.
they're not
She
the
has a
most
man's
flattering.
body. It's
Yes,
right.
like her hips, she has none. She has no ass, and I think she needs to have some pants put on her.
She's kind of got a Gary Busey thing going on too. Is it just me, or I see the villain from Lethal Fucking Weapon? Like when I don't know.
Could it be the mole?
I see Mr. Joshua.
Is it the mole?
Shout out to Mr. Joshua. But yeah, great to see Sasha back. Corey, have you seen a lot of Sasha Banks? I know we were talking off the air about NXT. You don't really catch a lot of it. Have you seen a lot of Sasha Banks?
Only what I've seen since she's called up to the main roster. I get the appeal with her, but I am completely biased because I think Becky Lynch is the bee's tits or something like that.
The bee's tits, huh?
Yeah,
All
or
right.
knees or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, Becky Lynch
Yeah.
does it for me. I think she's got like the entire package, except for that
Except for when she
Irish
talks.
accent. But I mean, nobody's perfect.
Oh, what to win the butterfly?
Yeah, that's what gets me. Every time she talks, it sounds like she's got toilet paper in her mouth.
Marvel Madness.
I want to win the butterfly belt.
She's great though in the ring.
Oh, yeah,
she does like Taz plexes and all kinds
Oh,
of
yeah,
shit.
she's great in-ring work, but Jesus Christ. Every time she talks.
Well, let's move on a little bit. Let's be a little bit more. I don't know. We don't want to just down her for her accent.
Well, it's not her accent. I mean, she
It's
just.
her.
Anytime she talks, it's not believable. It sounds
No,
forced.
I think it's her accent.
I think it's her accent too.
Well,
Honestly, yeah. I mean, but hey.
my name's Becky Lynch. I want the butterfly belt.
Oh, my name's Becky. It's all lost. Yeah. But Natalia had some more Natalia attacking. Speaking of Becky Lynch, the heel Natalia, which doesn't really.
I guess they're trying to do something with her.
Well, yeah. I mean, are you a fan of Sasha's in ring? What you've seen, Corey?
Oh, sure. Yeah, she's definitely talented.
I think she's.
And I understand that the plan all along was for her to take the belt from Charlotte, and that's my only issue at SummerSlam is that it's so predictable that it's like, why bother to watch it?
Well, I thought it was predictable at
Not the program,
WrestleMania.
I just mean that match.
I thought it was going to happen at WrestleMania. So, I mean, if she doesn't take it at SummerSlam, when the
I think a lot of people did.
I think that's why
I
they
think a lot of
didn't
people
do
thought
it.
it was going to happen at Mania, and I think Ric Flair pulled some strings backstage to keep the new title on his daughter.
He got this noodle hair out in full force.
He got those noodles going.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess what's so appealing about Sasha, I guess, is she's more mainstream appealing to different groups.
Well, I think she's kind of like their.
Well, her entrance music is better.
Yeah. Charlotte's music is horrible. It's like a shitty Rammstein Ric Flair mashup or something. It's awful.
Was it done by Beethoven?
Christ. Beethoven made good music.
But he was deaf.
Yeah. I think she's honestly back to the Sasha Banks thing. I think she's their new version of AJ Lee. Like, well, her husband was an asshole, then she retired. She was really popular. We need a new AJ. I think she comes off like AJ Lee with her size for one, the way she works. Her promos actually, just not the whole "I'm a crazy girl" thing. But
I'm the boss.
yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Sasha. I'm glad that it seems like she's gonna take the belt because she needs the belt. You know what I mean? Like to establish herself because she is newer. But you're right, the predictability of it is kind of a downside to it. But I think sometimes predictability is good in wrestling. I think it's, you know what I mean? Like
Sometimes it needs
I think
to
that's what
happen.
makes wrestling wrestling.
Well, sometimes people want to cheer for something. Even if they know it's going to happen, they're still not going to take away from how much they cheer.
Even with Daniel Bryan winning the title at WrestleMania 30, you didn't know.
WrestleMania 7, you knew Hulk Hogan was going to beat Sergeant Slaughter.
And that wasn't good though. That match sucks.
I mean, the match sucked, but you still cheered when he did it.
Yeah, Alex Trebek.
But you could say that about a lot of Hulk Hogan matches.
Yeah, I mean, you knew he was going to beat Randy
Savage.
Savage.
To beat him at 5.
Yeah, you knew he was going to beat Randy Savage. I mean, I did. The one thing that got me, that's why I guess I remember WrestleMania 6 so much, is because I guess that was the one main event where I was like, ooh, I don't know who's going to win.
Well, he didn't win at 4.
Well, had you been around for Mania 3, that would have been the same thing.
Well, I mean, I've watched WrestleMania 3 for a long, so many times, but obviously I wasn't alive yet to, I guess, get that whole, Andre's undefeated, Hogan might be in trouble.
Yeah. And maybe back then it was like, well, Andre's been around forever. He's never held the belt. It's his.
Now, was he really undefeated? Like, was he undefeated in all house shows too?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know, but I know that Hogan had slammed him at Shea Stadium in like '80. Like, and Andre had been slammed all the time in like Mid-South. I think Tony Atlas slammed him. So that
Kamala did it.
Who's that? Kamala.
Kamala did.
The Ugandan Giant.
Did he do that in World Class?
Oh, man. I think it was in Japan. I could be wrong about that, though.
Kamala.
But I know Kamala slammed him. I saw a video of it on YouTube.
Kamala, the physique only a mother could love.
Well, shout out to Kamala who lost his legs. So.
Legs,
Hope you feel a little bad about that comment now, Michael. He
There's
lost
a
his leg.
GoFundMe page, too.
Was it from diabetes?
He had a big controversy. Remember Dawn Marie from ECW?
Yeah.
There was like a big controversy where like she runs this thing like Wrestlers Rescue or something, but she was like pocketing the funds or something fish shady was going on, and she called a world of shit. So that was
How did Kamala lose his legs? Diabetes?
something like that.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
That would
Diabetes.
Then I really wouldn't feel bad. I mean, sorry, he let himself get so fat and out of shape. Diabetes is like right down the road for you.
Will you be serious?
I'm sorry.
I don't want to wish that on anyone.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, only got himself to blame.
Hey, Kamala, if you want to come on and go toe-to-toe with this guy, you're more than welcome.
How's he going to go toe-to-toe? He doesn't have any toes.
Please sing if you come on, because he's a great singer. He has like a fucking R&B album out and shit. You ever see him sing on YouTube?
No.
Yeah, what? You never seen that?
Why would I even look for that?
It's fucking, because it's Kamala in full face, and he's in face paint, and he's singing like this.
That's even weirder.
It's something.
All I think of, my last memory of Kamala is his face when he saw The Undertaker.
My favorite is that we went from Sasha Banks to Kamala, and we didn't even have to flinch. It just happened. And that just happened. The worst Kamala match I've ever seen was against Doink the Clown on Monday Night Raw.
Well, it's Corey's fault.
Oh, we're going to blame the guest.
It is Corey's fault.
He brought him up.
And if we're gonna talk about Kamala matches, my personal favorite was against Jake the Snake Roberts on Saturday night's main event in 1987. Just saying, Honky Tonk Man comes out dressed as kimchi and takes out Jake the Snake at the end there. I mean, that's awesome.
Well, there you go. There you have it.
At least we have a guest on here who knows his shit.
Will you stop?
Well,
Lee knew his stuff.
What? From what?
We wonder why no one wants to come on the show.
Oh.
If you're not up to par,
Well, nobody wants to come on the show. That's why we got guests lined up the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just contradicted
Well,
yourself.
let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So you had to spoil it.
We got guests coming up, guys.
Guys, in the next month on Slam Pigs Podcast, you're getting different guests each week. Got our friend Logan coming on, our friend Mike, another Mike. Can you handle it, Mike?
Oh, well,
that's a lot of fucking
as long
mics.
as I'm the number one mic.
Ugh.
But, I mean, we're not just talking shit when we say they're the most interactive podcast on the internet.
And you can find us on Facebook. Slam Pigs has a Twitter now. Michael, I've seen you posted some videos earlier today on our Facebook group. Got some play on that. So things are going great in the Slam Pigs Nation. So thank you guys so much. Once again, make sure to hit that like. Always comment if you feel free to. Subscribe. Please subscribe. Always subscribe. Monday Night Raw to wrap things up on this shitstorm of a show.
You had your number one contender match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You had a rematch between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And you got a schmoz. Well, you got a double count.
Well, you had Dean Ambrose starting the show with the
Yeah.
celebration.
Well, I thought we were just moving right along here.
Well, you got to talk
He
about
left the
that.
belt in the cab. That wasn't funny.
Yeah. But, yeah, it was Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns
Yep.
for the number one contender. Double count out. Fans not happy. Obvious, easy way out.
Yeah.
Dusty finish all the
Yeah.
way. Supposedly, it was a triple threat
But
at
didn't they just do this with the women's title belt at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yep.
They just did it.
With the double pin.
Yeah, I guess they don't remember what they do. But
No, this was a double count out on the outside. It was even more generic.
Well, that's what it was with the women too. Remember with Sasha
No, it
and
was a
Becky
double.
Lynch?
I thought that was a double pin, it was like a German or something, and they had. I don't know.
I thought that was a double count out.
Not sure.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, all four shoulders were down for the count.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's how
Either
memorable
way,
the
it's
current
the same
product is.
thing that they just did back in like late
Yep.
February, early March.
Standard rinse and repeat booking.
And I mean, you could see it coming from a mile away.
Oh yeah, as you usually do with the title lately, and that's one thing I hate. They need to freshen up the title picture, not these 1998 schmoz finishes. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, we were just bitching a little while back that there was too many people winning clean on Raws every week.
that's not
That
for the
doesn't make
that's
any
not
sense.
a title match.
Yeah, it doesn't make
Or
any
a number
sense.
one contendership match. The number one contendership matches and title matches should always be competitive. Very rarely use a schmoz, and that's why they'll be more effective.
Yeah. I mean, with the number one contender match, I think you should have a decisive winner. But as far as like building a feud and stuff, how good is it really to have each person like win clean off of each other every week?
Yeah.
I think in order to build up a good story,
Even Steven booking.
yeah, I think you have to have some more schmozes, I guess, to build a rivalry. But I don't necessarily need to see them wrestle twice a week, every week,
Yeah.
with a different person winning. I don't.
Yeah.
It's just not my style of booking, I guess.
Sometimes squash matches are needed in wrestling.
Yeah.
You know,
To build a character.
and not every
It made
like
the pay-per-views feel important.
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, instead of just a glorified Raw. But
Yeah.
that's just my thoughts.
But where do we go now from
Exactly
that?
what they are. Honestly, the pay-per-views now look like Raw with different signs.
Yeah,
and
it's the same setup.
They don't change up their stage anymore.
Well, no. Ever
Everything's
since
the
they lost all
same.
that money,
Yeah. They cut back on their funds when they went to the network and took a big budget cut, but now supposedly there's over 1 million subscribers, which is iffy, like the attendance at WrestleMania 3, which is iffy, which was supposedly 93,000, really more like 78,000. But
what about this past WrestleMania? You think it was over 100?
I don't know. I'm sure maybe that was exaggerated a little bit.
I heard something like 97.
Yeah, so there you go. But you can never fully trust any big conglomerate, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that being said, where do we go now, guys?
Well, Andre the Giant wasn't 7'4" either.
It was like 7'2" or like 7'1" or something, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I think maybe even 7 at one point.
Yeah, but I mean, they do the same thing with
Sorry
basketball.
to change the subject like that, but they
No,
inflate
it's good.
numbers. That's my point.
Yeah, but they do the
WWE
same thing with
inflate
professional
numbers.
basketball.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't think LeBron James is 6'9".
Did you get your little shout out to the Cavs in on the post
Hey,
show?
congrats to the Cavs. Hey, Cleveland won the championship, first time in 52 years. I think that's important.
It is important. It's a
Did
good
you see
game, too.
did you see the parade today that they had for them?
You're asking me?
I saw pictures. I didn't see the parade.
There was over 1 million people at the parade. It was
Nice.
supposed to take like an hour. The parade took 5.5 hours because they had to keep stopping because people wouldn't get out of the way of the cars and stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, over 1 million people at a parade in one city. It was crazy to see the overhead view. But
Christ.
talk about a city that's hungry for a winner.
Well, speaking of hungry for a winner, the fans didn't get the beautiful segue. The fans did not get that on Raw. Double count out, like we said. We kind of dabbled in this. I mean, do you think this is going to end up being a triple threat at Battleground?
I think we already predicted this as soon as the belt did what it did at the pay-per-view. I think that's the only way to book it, triple threat, because they both want their rematch, you know what I mean, and Ambrose has to give it to him.
Could they hold off with the suspension, the triple threat to actually SummerSlam?
They could, but I don't think that's what they want to do with a SummerSlam. I don't think that's a big enough draw.
Well, let me say. Oh, you don't think? I was going to say because this triple threat match seems like it's too big for Battleground, considering SummerSlam is the next one in the lineup. And I'm going to Battleground. So I guess, if the triple threat match actually happens, that'll be cool to see. But this is something that people have been waiting for a long time, even though it did happen in NXT. I know that because I saw that on YouTube. But I would have expected this for a SummerSlam or maybe even a WrestleMania. But Battleground, it just seemed odd to me.
That's what I
But
thought.
I'm also wondering, is this whole triple threat match because of the Roman Reigns suspension? They knew beforehand that he was being suspended. I think that's why he dropped the belt. What was the original plan? I don't know.
That's a good question. Maybe the original plan was make Roman strong, as usual. And
Reigns retains.
There you go.
Yeah. If Jim Ross was there, that's what you'd have heard.
Reigns retains!
Yeah.
Reigns retains!
Yeah.
God. Sounds like a broken doll. Or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, man, I think you're right on that. I think that it's a better fit for SummerSlam. Maybe you do Rollins and Ambrose at Battleground. And you have Ambrose get a clean win as champ. God forbid.
I don't know. I think
that would actually be a perfect main event for a B-level show.
You're gonna have Brock coming back after he does the UFC thing here next month.
Brock should be.
I think you
He
got to
should be
book
kept
him.
away from the belt.
I think he's got to be in the title picture, considering you have
No.
the two guys that were in the title match at WrestleMania where he lost the title.
No.
Neither one of them pinned him.
Totally.
Well, can I ask you something? What if Brock gets his ass handed to him at the UFC paper?
We brought
Does
that
that
up.
not hurt his credibility? In
I don't think it
WWE,
does.
Even though everybody knows it's fake.
Yeah, but you think that's what happened to him when he first came back. I mean, he got his ass whooped and then he came back. So I mean, they still booked him as badass.
But he had the big bad, he's the real fighter sort of guy. Even though he did lose a couple fights, he was the UFC champion. But now he takes some time off. He goes back and he gets Mark Hunt. Is that who he's fighting? He knocks
Mark
him
Hunt.
out. I don't know. I think that hurts his brand.
My thing is,
I think this is a big risk letting him do this.
I don't think WWE had a big choice in this. Like we talked about this a few shows ago. As far as the contract with him leaving UFC to come to WWE, he was still under contract with UFC. Dana White allowed him to come back to WWE with the kind of understanding, hey, if I ever need a favor, and this was the understanding of Brock and Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like Vince and Brock doing that favor. And I think Vince sees it as a win-win. Even win or lose, Brock Lesnar's on a UFC event, fighting in it. You know what I mean? And to be honest, I follow UFC quite a bit. I don't see Mark Hunt being able to beat him without a one-punch knockout. if this fight goes past the first round, I think Mark Hunt's in a lot of trouble because Brock Lesnar is a legit wrestler, and Mark Hunt has never had the greatest takedown defense. He's pretty much your stand-up, try and knock you out with one shot, and Mark Hunt's a shorter guy for the heavyweight division. I think Brock's just going to smother him, get him down to the ground, and just beat the tar out of him. But I could be wrong.
I'm sure WWE hoops that too.
Well, I could be wrong, but I don't think Dana
No, I
White would.
agree. I think Brock Lesnar will beat him.
I don't think the UFC would put him in a fight that he couldn't win either. I don't think they're just going to bring him back and put him against, Cain Velasquez or, one of the top contenders. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Especially after Velasquez already beat the shit out of him. So,
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I mean, there were rumors that it could have been Shane Carwin, too, that instead of Mark Hunt.
yeah, but Shane Carwin's been retired for a while now.
Oh, Carwin would have killed him.
Carwin's been retired for a while now, so I don't know.
So is Brock.
But, I mean, Carwin, after that Brock fight that he had already, he kind of got injured and then got busted for the steroids and then retired, so.
But yeah, that's pretty much Monday Night Raw, guys. Nothing really else
Mixed with a little UFC.
mixed with a little UFC.
But if I was going to book it for SummerSlam, I would have Brock in that match with whomever, whether it be Seth Rollins or whomever, or Roman Reigns, whoever wins that belt. I don't see Dean Ambrose retaining that belt and taking it to SummerSlam. I just don't.
I can see it. I can see him carrying the triple threat on to SummerSlam. Honestly, that's...
You can see him in the main event of SummerSlam?
Yeah, I can. He's main evented pay-per-views before with Seth Rollins.
Yeah, but did he win them?
No.
So
But he still main evented them.
I'm just saying. I just, even though he has the belt now, it kind of strikes me as like Sheamus last year. Like, yeah, he won the belt with his cash
God.
in. But how long is he really going to hold it?
Don't compare that to old Curly Q himself. That was bad.
I mean, it's just, I don't know.
Well, my attitude about that is, I mean, if you're going to have the Money in the Bank contract out there for the taking for, an hour, you better let the guy keep the belt for a while. Otherwise, it's like throwing it away. I don't know.
Yeah, but it seems like time and time they do that all the time with the Money in the Bank guy. Except like Rollins got a good run with it, but I mean, a lot of guys cashed that in over the years and they lost.
Yeah, but Rollins held on to the case for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Rollins got a chance to.
Hours. That means there's an entire year now where there's no possibility of a cash.
I don't know. I guess for Ambrose, for me, I guess it's going to take him defending the belt a few times to make him believable with me as the champ.
Well, Corey, you missed out on our on our pre-Money in the Bank show where we had a couple predictions. Michael really wanted Kevin Owens to win that match. I actually predicted Ambrose, but my heart really wanted Owens. Kevin Owens is probably my favorite part of Raw lately. Usually, him and Sami Zayn are always. I'll never get sick of that feud. That's another thing that happened on Raw. Great brawl backstage, but
yeah, and they had a match.
I mean, I always look forward. He's such a good heel, you know.
I feel like they're kind of wasting him right now. I feel like he could be getting a push right now, and he's not getting it.
Yeah. Jeez.
I think Kevin Owens is the most entertaining guy in the WWE.
Yeah.
I thought so. I wanted him to win Money in the Bank. I knew he wasn't going to. Ambrose sort of had you can tell because of the 50-50 booking. And Ambrose was losing to everybody leading to that pay-per-view, which is when I realized he's going to win.
That's exactly what we said, too, about Ambrose on our post show. It was kind of like, well, you did all these jobs, especially in Mania. Here you go in return. Kind of like, shit. You just went blank. Michael, take this up.
Who kind of did a bunch of jobs?
Fuck sauce. God damn it, I hate when that happens. Natty Bo in the house, guys. Shout out to Natty Bo, our unofficial sponsor for the Slam Pig Spot. That's something we haven't talked about, have we? John Cena and his goddamn Pabst Blue Ribbon t-shirt.
Yeah.
Marketed towards children.
Does that not look like a Pabst Blue Ribbon t-shirt?
It is. It's a knockoff. They flat out have said it. There was a controversy with Pabst Blue Ribbon about it on getting released, and I guess they won the settlement or the
So why the fuck would you take your number one child-loving star and give him
Can we flip the words? Child-loving?
Well, I'm sorry. the younger fans.
We're not talking about LAWLER anymore.
No.
Oh, sorry.
We're talking the number one merch seller to young fans, and you're giving him a shirt that resembles a beer can.
Maybe those kids grew up.
Okay.
It's for the dads.
All right.
It's for the dads who have to watch the fucking John Cena matches.
So you would pick a Pabst Blue Ribbon can if you were going to pick a beer. Have you ever had a Pabst Blue Ribbon?
Me, no.
Many. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
I've had lots of them, and not.
Is that something we really brag about, though?
No, but I'm just saying, if I was going to pick a beer to put on a T-shirt, it sure as hell wouldn't be that.
Well, let me pose you this question: Steel Reserve or Pabst Blue Ribbon? You're down in
red, white, and blue, though.
You're down in the dumps. You got a choice to make. You got to go steel. You got to go hard as steel, or you got to go to the old Ribbon boutique.
Ugh.
Those are down to your last.
I
buck.
just drink water.
Spiced water.
Fuck. I'd go to vodka then. I'd get off the beer.
But yeah, I mean that's Monday Night Raw, guys. Pretty much nothing else to say as far as that show. We'll see where they go next week. Where they're going in the Battleground.
They got a lot of time before Battleground, so it'll be interesting to see where the booking goes without Reigns in it.
I'll actually be relieved. I'm sure the fans will be relieved. Too.
Well, I'm just interested to see what their writers can come up with as far as the booking.
Well, you're also relying and putting your faith in the writers.
Yeah, probably nothing, but who knows? Maybe they'll find something entertaining out of it.
But yeah, I mean, Corey, do you want us to let you go, man? I know it's getting late. You're on the East Coast with us. It's a little after 11 here. Anything else you want to talk about, or are you good to go for a couple more segments?
I'm good to go for a little while longer.
Sweet.
Awesome. Sounds
See,
great.
that's a trooper right there. He's
Well, hey-
American. See that?
Are you going to calm down, Lex Luger?
Sorry.
God.
The man made in the USA.
I'll be your hero.
Yeah.
Which
Did you know that we were watching
song.
we watched that SummerSlam on the network? SummerSlam 93? Yeah, SummerSlam 93.
edited it out?
And they edited that. They don't even use that song on there. I don't know if they lost the copyright privileges to that, but it's a totally different song now if you watch that
Well,
SummerSlam back.
that is a pretty hot fucking commodity, that I'll Be Your Hero thing
Yeah.
by unknown
Well, the
singer.
question is the song that they now use, is it better or worse than I'll Be Your Hero?
Oh, it's way worse. It's
Way
like
worse.
smooth jazz,
Yeah,
porno.
it was really
something.
bad.
It's
Well,
bad.
I joined the WWF fan club that year, and as part of my fan club package, they gave us a cassette tape with songs on it. And I'll Be Your Hero was one of them, and I felt, even as an 11-year-old, I felt like an asshole for owning a cassette with that song.
That's almost as good as the WCW CD that I had in my first car that Travis and I would sit in and we would listen to Rap is Crap.
West Texas redneck. I think the question is, do you still have the cassette?
No.
Oh,
Did it have, like-
collectors.
I wish I did.
It was just full of theme songs, eh? Men on a
I
Mission.
do have a Lex Luger poster that I got signed at the WrestleMania 10 Fan Fest. I still have that.
How friendly was he?
He was such an asshole.
Yeah.
And
Also,
he seemed like an even bigger dick because I had just met Scott Hall and he was nice as hell.
Oh, man.
well, I mean, if you're Scott Hall and you're pretty much just higher than a kite 24/7, I guess you have no reason to be mean to people.
I think that was the first fan access ever at WrestleMania, too, at 10.
Yeah, I think so.
That's fucking badass.
It was the
Steve.
first one they labeled Fan Fest. I think they did some similar things back with the like Mania 4 and 5 in Atlantic City. I think
Oh,
they did
yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
sort of interactive
They had,
thing,
like,
but that was
the-
the first one that they
Yeah.
sold tickets to and marketed as a fan festival. That 10 was the first that did that though.
Here's a fun question for you. Just off topic, but
Is it
just
about-
because you're talking about Atlantic City.
Is it about Mr. Fuji
It's-
running the 5K race?
No,
Oh.
it's not. But that was a great
He
memory.
really did that.
Yeah, he really did that.
But-
Not a drip of sweat.
That was yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, my whole thought process is, you know how Obama picks his like NCAA tournament bracket every year?
Yeah.
Sure.
If Trump gets elected president, do you think he does like a WrestleMania match prediction every year?
I think he should.
I think he should.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Be pretty
Since,
sweet.
yeah, how many WrestleManias has he been to? You know what I mean?
WrestleMania live at the White House. Trump
Yeah.
comes back.
That'd be awesome.
Would it? Is it worth having? Well, let's not get into politics here.
Just saying.
We're not that kind of show, guys. But yeah, whole lot of show left. We like to do Corey every week. Match of the week, as I think I told you before. Like, could be classic, could be anything. I mean, feel free if you want to take match of the week this week. We also have a segment, which is kind of popular with everyone. We've got a lot of good feedback on it. Push or D-push. We pick one talent each week. We all go around if we push or D-push that guy.
Yeah, we'll get right into that stuff. We're gonna give you a minute to think about that, Corey. Match of the week.
Well, here's something I want to talk about while we're waiting on Corey if he wants to think about.
Okay.
That 5K race.
No, I think I got it already.
Awesome.
Well, we don't
Go
want to do it
ahead.
yet.
That 5K race with Mr. Fuji. Could you imagine if, like, a lot of those guys probably knew nothing about wrestling. And you see this stout Asian man in like a full bowler and tuxedo with face paint and a cane with Mean Gene Okerlund. There's like, what the fuck is this shit? It's like, could you just oh, sorry to get off. But do you want to go into push or de-push? Or?
No, actually, I think it's time for our second and possibly last promo break of the evening.
Sounds gravy, Swayze. What do you got?
I'm doing the Melting Butter promo by the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Go ahead.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I know you had to get that in there.
Man, Randy Savage. I do a horrible.
Yeah. But,
what the hell was that? That house.
Sorry.
Does he have Tourette's?
My Tourette's. Couldn't help it.
Go ahead.
But that is our next promo here on the Slam Pigs podcast. We'll be back right after this.
We got more Corey, got more Travis, more Michael. I know that our fans because our fans in jolly old England, you're not the most popular person, let's be honest.
Just because Lee don't like it?
Lee carries the flag for all of Britain.
Oh, he does.
At least on our...
Well, Mary Hatcher, that sounds like a British name.
Hey, we do have a question, actually, from Mary Hatcher.
Yeah, we have to get to that, too.
We'll be right back on the Slam Pigs podcast. Here's a little bit of butter, so melt it.
All right, Randy Savage, I've got to tell you, it was very impressive. The vote line and the thousands upon thousands and thousands of telephone calls overwhelmingly suggesting to the tune of 97% that you be reinstated here in the World Wrestling Federation. Obviously, all of this swayed President Jack Tunney. However, that's now, but let's go back to this weekend. I cannot imagine what it was like for you to go through that horrifying ordeal with the poison running through your veins. I could not believe that snake biting into the flesh and gnawing away at your upper arm. As I said, it had to be horrifying.
Well, it was. I was delirious, and I was hallucinating, and it was a living hell. I couldn't see, and I couldn't hear. But the one thing that I could see, and the one thing that I could hear, was Elizabeth crying. And that hurt me worse than anything that Jake the Snake Roberts could ever do to me. Oh, yeah.
All right, Macho Man, that brings us to this Tuesday in Texas. It's going to be yourself and Jake the Snake Roberts one-on-one. And by the way, all reptiles have been barred from ringside.
All reptiles have been barred from ringside. But I wonder if President Jack Tunney realizes who the real snake is. It's you, Jake the Snake Roberts. It's always been you. And this Tuesday in Texas, the madness is gonna be all over you like melting butter. Ooh, yeah!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the Macho Man. What up, Mach? With the butter promo on Slam Pigs podcast. Hey, we're back, guys. I wanted to mention this. This is happening this weekend. I figured that I mentioned this for the channel and stuff. I'm going out to Oaks, Pennsylvania this weekend. Too Many Games convention. I'm going to meet the Angry Video Game Nerd. My good friend Ian from the Pappy and the F-Punk show is going to be there. My great friend I've known for a while. Going to be a great way to spread the love of the channel, guys. See what we can. I'm going to have some guests on my other podcast coming up, so stay tuned this summer. Some surprises headed your way on both the Slam Pigs podcast and the Hard to Name podcast. But we're back here. This is the Slam Pigs podcast. Sorry, Michael, to toot my own horn a little bit like Double A.
You want to go for the butterfly belt? I know.
Yeah, Rusev.
You got to get that belt.
Push or de-push this week, Michael? I have no clue where I want to go with it. So, I mean, do you want to come up with?
I think we should give it to the guests first.
Give it to Corey?
Yep. Corey, you can pick one wrestler right now and ask us whether we would push or de-push.
We'll just all go
How
around.
about Rusev, since that was just brought up?
Rusev?
Rusev. I think we've had him on before, but it's all good. We'll do it again because Rusev's fucking awesome. I would push Rusev.
No. If you've done that before, I could pick somebody else.
All right, go ahead.
Cesaro. You've done that before, too.
I don't think we've ever done Cesaro.
He's been avoided.
That's a good one. Little tasty cake, Cesaro.
Yeah.
I would definitely push Cesaro. I love the James Bond entrance, the GoldenEye entrance on the Titantron. I think his promos have gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd make just as good of a heel as he would a babyface. I mean, his promos have gotten better, and don't let me say he's like Laurence Olivier on the mic,
No.
but he's not. He's still Cesaro, but I think we should push him. Michael.
I agree. Push the shit out of him, actually. I could see this guy being in Dean Ambrose's spot in a very near future. I think he is, if not the best worker in WWE, he is definitely top 3 right now. I cannot remember the last Cesaro one-on-one match that I saw that I did not like.
Yeah.
Cesaro is he's one of the strongest men in WWE pound for pound. He moves so quick for a guy his size, and I think he can work with almost anybody and have a hell of a match.
I really hope the feud coming up, speaking of Rusev, is with Rusev for the U.S. title.
Yeah.
What a great feud
that would be an awesome
ring
feud.
wise. Maybe not on the mic.
I don't want to see Rusev or Cesaro get relegated to that because of how little that title has meant in the recent
But they could make it the
months.
workhorse title again, like the IC belt used to be.
Yeah, but I could just see both of those guys. Well, maybe not as much Rusev because of, just because I like Rusev, but I just have problems seeing him being in the big title picture. Cesaro, I think he's finally starting to come into his own with his character. He's becoming more likable as a character, and I think he's becoming more relatable. I think I could definitely see him in the next year or so being pushed up into that title picture. And God forbid we have one of the best workers in the company carry the belt. I mean, you had it with Daniel Bryan before he got injured. You didn't really get a good sample size. I mean, you had it with Rollins, but I don't know how much I liked the Rollins character back then.
Rollins' injury definitely saved his career.
Yeah.
Right. At least
I think
for
he was
now.
starting to get stale.
I think he will get stale again, though.
But I didn't like him with the authority. I don't think he needs that. I could just see him being by himself as a heel. But Cesaro, I think you could have, like you said, I think he could be a heel or a babyface and still
Especially with that James Bond mystique.
I mean,
is that the word I'm looking for?
I wish they would have kept him with Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
I think that they abandoned ship on that so fast because of whatever circumstance, I guess because of his injury. But I thought that was a great idea to put him with somebody like Heyman because Heyman elevates everybody that he works with. And I think he always makes whoever he has. I mean, think about him with Brock.
Curtis Axel.
Well, yeah, but that's Curtis Axel. You know what I mean? And the problem wasn't Heyman or Axel's fault. It's how they booked it.
Right.
They booked Axel like a shitty, lucky wrestler. You know what I mean?
He
would win by count out, or
he kind of is a shitty lucky wrestler. Lucky in the fact what his pedigree is with Kurt Hennig.
I don't think he's a bad wrestler.
I think he's a generic, plain Jane wrestler.
I think he's one of those guys that never found himself as a character.
But we'll save that because that could be another push or D-push.
Yeah.
That's actually a great one for a later date. But Corey, let us ask you, what would you do with Cesaro?
Oh, I'd push him. I don't understand why he hasn't been pushed yet. I mean, it's been brought up. I mean, his matches are incredible. I'll remember the 2 matches he had with the John Cena Open Challenge were so entertaining.
Yeah.
And because of the Cesaro section, how strong I was at the time, it was one of those matches. I actually was sitting there Mania 6 going, I could see Cesaro winning this thing. And every time there was a near pin, it was like, oh my God, I mean, I haven't seen a wrestling match where I was actually on the edge of my seat in a long time. And I think Cesaro is capable of doing that with anybody, let alone, not just John Cena. I mean, he can make everybody better. He's sort of like Michael Jordan.
Definitely.
That was a good one. Travis, your turn.
I thought we'd just do one.
Oh, we're just doing one? We're not going around the table?
Let's just keep it at one.
All right.
We did go around the table. That was
all right.
Cesaro, definitely. I think that's the first time we ever had all the way around. Thumbs up to push to tell.
Everybody agreed there.
A lot of untapped.
Well, he's Swiss. Fans can't relate.
He doesn't have it.
Millennials.
I remember him saying that on the Stone Cold podcast. Cesaro doesn't have it.
There you go. Thank you. The Stone Cold podcast this week. I don't know if you guys called it. I called AJ Styles on the Stone Cold podcast this week. Stone Cold is always no holds barred, no filter. You know that. Talked like in detail about TNA. Showed pictures from TNA matches. Now a lot of people have asked me on social media, like, do you think this could be like the signs of no? It's Austin's podcast. He's gonna talk what he wants to talk about. If he has like handcuffs on, then the show becomes a joke.
Yeah.
So that's why it's there, guys, to be controversial. But it was really surreal to see TNA, kind of like I felt when WCW was bought out initially.
Yeah.
I had that feeling to it, but just wanted.
I didn't get to catch any of it, but yeah.
Neither did I, but I can totally see what you're saying there.
I like what they. AJ Styles has been booked really weird. He didn't win for months after he debuted, and now all of a sudden he's supposed to be taken seriously, and he beat John Cena. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean he won when he first debuted. It's just right after that.
Right.
He went into.
I think he beat Jericho on one show, and then it was just.
Yeah, and he lost twice.
Yeah, but then he beat him in the last one, didn't he?
But man, Vince, there's just always like some weird booking with TNA guys. Just like, why is Samoa Joe still down in NXT? It's kind of fishy. Like,
that's another guy that I think as soon as he gets brought up, I don't see how you don't push that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they don't do the same thing they did with Kevin Owens. They bring him up and push the shit out of him just to, and then try and push him back again.
Speaking of which, let's go into this week's Match of the Week. Corey, what do you got on tap for this week's Match of the Week on the Slam Pigs podcast?
Now, this is the first time we've ever done this. First time we've ever let a guest pick the Match of the Week. So,
well, I think we asked Lee, and he didn't have one or something. I don't know.
Well, we're not going to talk. Don't get me started.
Well, sticking with my my promo pick, I want to stick with my promo pick, and it's extremely good, and I don't know if it's too well known, but it's the Rockers against the Brainbusters from Madison Square Garden, January of 1989. That was the WrestleMania quality match of the house show on the MSG network, and I remember watching that.
It's on the Shawn Michaels DVD.
It was amazing.
It's a great match, yeah. It was on the Shawn Michaels DVD, wasn't it?
Yep. It's on the Shawn Michaels DVD. That was a really good match. So what do you remember most about them? How did the match go for those of us that didn't see it?
Oh, it was just a bad. It was another one. I mean, it wasn't the caliber of a main event, but it was you could see anybody winning that match, and it just the quality, the aerial skills of the Rockers, and then the toughness of the Brainbusters. I mean, it was too good to be on that show. And then they go to WrestleMania, and the Brainbusters are against Strikeforce, and the Rockers are driving out to the Twin Towers. It's stupid.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You know what I remember most about that match is how great of a story was told in that match. When you talk about, the high flyers going against the badass team, I mean, you kind of saw all of that in the match. You saw the Rockers doing their high spots and their fast moves and stuff, but then you saw, I think the move I remember most about that whole match, it might sound irrelevant to the match itself.
Was it a clothesline on the outside?
Yes, it was a clothesline on the outside by Arn Anderson.
That was standard double A.
Yes, but I thought that told the great story about, hey, these guys are quick, and just when the Rockers started to get the best of them in the little exchanges there, bam, Arn Anderson ends it and changes the momentum just like that.
I don't know if it's really sad or really awesome that I knew it was the clothesline on the outside.
I don't know. It just felt like that. It's what told a great story about the match. It's just how, the Rockers were so quick and talented and they could do all this stuff, but bam, one move by the Brainbusters and you got a different match.
I think speaking of that Shawn Michaels DVD on there, he said that Arn and Tully taught them a lot about tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
Like they were just straight up
surprise me.
ring generals.
Yeah.
Excellent pick. I love that match. That's one of my top tag matches of all time.
Do you remember that move on the outside, Corey?
I do.
That to me is what storytelling is in the business.
I do.
I know it sounds stupid because it's just one move, but I thought it told the whole story of the match between the teams just with that one move.
And it always seemed like the Brainbusters' best moments were always on like a Saturday Night's Main Event or a house show. God forbid, like a fucking pay-per-view. I think then they wrestled the Hearts at SummerSlam '89, but they won that, didn't they?
They had the belts for a little while.
They did.
Yeah,
it was a non-title match too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Brainbusters had just beat.
That was at the Meadowlands.
Demolition for the titles a few weeks early. Yeah, it was. I still have tickets, the ticket stubs from that show, man.
Oh, you went to that one too. Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I got the stubs.
Awesome. I mean, that show had its fair share of stinkers.
Does anybody remember them winning the belts? So that's the problem. I mean, we remember they had them.
That's what I'm saying. It was on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, it
was weird.
I don't think they ever got a chance to show
2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah, I don't think they ever, and it was dirt. Well, I mean, I think it was good that it was dirty with Heenan there and stuff, but
not as dirty as Barry Windham.
No, nobody's as dirty as that. But I mean,
But that chair shot in the 3rd fall. Smash. Oh my God.
I just don't think they ever got a real chance to showcase how great they were in the WWE.
I think I watched the shoot on kayfabe.
Because they were NWA.
Yeah, like it is now. Like we're saying about how it is with TNA guys and how they're handled with AJ Styles and stuff. Great pick.
They tried to do the Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes just was like, you know what, forget it. I'm gonna do well in spite of this.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I think hampered them in WWE the most is their lack of size. I think that's the one thing that Vince was probably like, well, they're not real big, and I don't know how believable that is.
Yeah.
But
they didn't need to be. Jake Roberts wasn't a big guy.
But you think about the champions back then, each team had a big guy. Arn Anderson was not a big guy.
The colostomy connection.
Yeah, I mean, but even with the Hart Foundation, Demolition, all their guys were pretty big. I mean, all the great Legion of Doom, the classic WWE style tag champs back then.
Powers of Pain?
Yes,
those guys.
The classic WWE tag titles and contenders were big. They had at least one big guy. That's how Vince liked it. He liked the small guy and the big guy, or the 2 big guys. He couldn't have 2 small guys. That's why the Rockers never held the belt, except for,
Jesse
the match that never happened.
Jesse and Festus.
I'm talking about back then.
Except for when they did.
Yeah, except for, the match that evidently never happened, but we all know happened because the ring broke. But I think that's why you saw the Rockers never really got the belts. I think that was their one chance to do it, and I don't know what the plans were after that, but I highly doubt that they were going to carry it long.
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't have.
I think that's what it boils down to with the Brainbusters. Just their lack of size, I think, killed them in the booking.
Yeah, it was the land of giants back then.
Yeah.
But, hey, great match of the week. Great pick, man. Love that match. That's about the end of the road here.
You said we had a question.
Oh, we did have a question this week. Thank you, Mike. Mary Hatcher on YouTube. And I don't know the question on the top of my head.
Well, I guess we're going to have to...
Got it. I remember what it was.
Okay, you can edit that
Our
out.
thoughts. No, I won't edit it out.
Oh, okay.
Stay on track here.
All right.
Our thoughts on Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, and if you think they would be a good fit in NXT.
In NXT?
Yeah.
All right. I think they'd definitely be a good fit in NXT. I don't know how good of a fit they'd be on the main roster. That's the only problem. Like I said, I think their lack of size might cost them.
Well, speaking of the Rockers, they could be a London and Kendrick type team.
Yeah, but you already have the Lucha Dragons. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know. I just think their lack of size would hamper them, and even though you see a lot of small guys succeeding, I think with those 2 guys, they would have to do double, like you said earlier, as far as being from another company. They would have to even elevate twice as much to get a push. So
I've always been a fan of Sabin and Shelley and
their
X division.
We saw them live. That was the best match of the night.
Yeah, the TNA house show. Yeah.
We went to that TNA house show, and that was by far the best match of the night.
Corey, do you have a lot of knowledge on Sabin and Shelley from TNA fame?
I wish I could say that I did, but I don't.
The Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, I know a little bit about Sabin, but not Kelly now.
I can't remember the last time I actually watched an episode of TNA, which, apologies to Lee this week, asked us to review Slammiversary, and honestly, like I said at the top of the show, well, we'll be sure to get on that this week. That's about all the time we have this week, guys. It's been a great show. Been great to have you on, Corey, once again. Thank you so much. The Bagel Guy, the return of the Bagel Guy, extra cream cheese. Thank you, dude, for coming on. Hopefully have you back in the near future, man. It'd be awesome.
It's been a pleasure being here. It's been 16 years since somebody called me the Bagel Guy, so thank you for making me feel young again.
Do you remember that
and
sign?
I hope to come back.
Remember the sign at SmackDown we went to in like 01 in Orlando? Corey the Bagel Guy. It was like a fake radio promo you made. Do you remember that?
I vaguely do, yeah.
God, Corey, you sound like Tony Atlas. Nobody's called me Mr. USA in 16 years.
God.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, thanks again so much. Great to have you on, Corey. Michael, Man, once again, thank you for being here. Any parting words for the lovely listeners? We're going to catch you next week. Take it home, guys, on Hibiki TMD. Hit that like button once again. Sorry to plug it so much, but got to pay the bills around here. Always leave a comment. We're the most interactive pro wrestling show on the internet, we like to think. And always subscribe. Michael, see you guys next week. Take us home.
Hey, guys. Keep checking out the Slam Pigs podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Hibiki TMD on YouTube. I'm definitely in a video and mood here this week, so don't be surprised if you get on Facebook there on our show and see some videos being posted anytime. So you need to be on your toes, ready for that. Some of
When
it's
you're
gonna
taking
be...
a bath, please don't.
What?
You're gonna anytime.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about.
Hey guys, I'm using new conditioner and it's pretty good.
But no, I'm not going to talk about me taking a poop or anything.
By the way, Roman Reigns sucks.
Yes. I mean, it is going to be mostly wrestling related. There might be some bloopers from the show, maybe some outtakes. You never know what you're going to see on our Facebook page. Rusev. God, that was funny. Wait till you guys see that video. That's definitely getting posted.
Do we have to show that video?
That's coming on tonight. But Corey, I just want to say thank you. I don't know if you and I ever really met, maybe once or twice. I know I met Eli, but thanks for being on the show. Definitely enjoyed you a lot more than the last fuck that was on the show.
Oh, you be serious.
What? What'd I do?
Just go ahead.
I'm a broadcast journalist. I can say what I want.
Just take it out.
Thank you. Corey, once again, I love the fact that you're American and you actually know your wrestling. And you don't come out and run your mouth trying to come at somebody who's way better at you than something. So, but thanks a lot for being on the show. Hopefully we meet up soon and have you back on the podcast. I'm definitely down for that. But thanks again for being on the podcast. Everybody, have a great week. Only Corey.
This is Slam Pigs Podcast.
Hey guys, you can follow me on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD. Check out the Hibiki TMD Facebook group for everything retro gaming, pro wrestling podcasts, and everything in between. Thanks for watching another video, and thanks for stopping by on Hibiki TMD.
Hey, what is going on here?